Buddy, and welcome to the last episode of 2025. It has been a crazy year, and I mean it's a holiday time, so it's a fun one. As you can see, we have our holiday crab with us this week, so never a dull moment with Cody involved.
Are we starting?
Yeah. Oh my.
Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah. As I was saying, never a dull moment when Cody's involved. Yes, we are starting. And yeah, it's going to be a fun one. We're going to talk about our hopes and dreams. And
you're not going to introduce Matt?
No, I mean, I guess I probably should have for the audio listeners. Matt is also here. he's the crab overlord, so he is now Cody's.
On his spot.
Yeah, like
Cody's, I gave up this little cat and mouse game. I'm just now Cody the president.
No, okay, well that's fine. But
you can read between the lines if you can read.
Devon's been.
I know TCG players don't read.
Devon's been like your keeper forever, and now I think Matt is like kind of getting into that.
Yeah, I feel like this is completely. I mean, to be fair, I don't even know if we've said what exactly we're talking about today. But in my Discord recap this year, it said that like the person I talked to the most, like in voice chats, it was Matt, and I feel like Matt completely cheated because he's literally always sitting in there.
He was on he was on everybody's Discord recap. I wish I could get mine back. Like I looked through it once and then it went away and I could never get it back. And so I don't have any.
But you got it as an email.
No, I didn't.
Discord is terrible.
I don't know what happened. Anyways, we're talking about
our future sponsorship with Discord.
We're talking about 2026, our hopes, our dreams, a couple things we're probably worried about as well. Talking a little bit about Winter Spell. We've started to see some Winter Spell leaks. I always call them leaks, reveals. So talk about a few of those. And yeah, just talk through everything 2026. Because again, this is the first episode of 2026. So should be, well, actually, no, I guess it's technically the last. I said that. This last episode because it's coming out on the 30th. So
yeah, you love making up stuff.
Anyways, before I just completely derail everything, we'll just get started. So let's start with a couple Winter Spell ones because that's all coming in 2026. So it's par for the course, but it's a little bit more ingrained, I guess, in the details of like what's going on next year. I think we talked about this on or last week. We have a couple that are like extremely hard to read. I think Willie the Giant's kind of a fun one. I don't know if you guys have seen this one yet, but he's a 4-cost inkable in Ruby. That's a 7/7. It has boost 3, like quest for 2, and says this character can't quest or challenge unless you put a card under him this turn. This feels very reminiscent of like the Maui Whale, except it's a boost to like ready him instead of something else. And so I guess there are ways to kind of like manipulate the boost cost so that it can do it for a cheaper cost. But on the surface, I think like if it was a lower boost cost, it would probably be insane. But with a 7 boost, I think it's probably just, or a 3 boost, it's probably just like going to be way too expensive to ever make viable.
I don't think so, because you can cheat it with the free boost with certain colors, like age and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it once for sure, but like to have like an ongoing character that's going to have the ability to do something, you have to then do it like every single turn. It's kind of, to me, it feels kind of like the Ratigan, the big Sapphire Ratigan that you have to ink every turn.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also the Gustav skill card that saw some play, I think.
Oh yeah, I do remember that one too. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably fine, and there might be some shenanigans, and maybe like in a Maximus world where strength matters, or if you're in a
he's a ghost. Oh, that's interesting. You have a ghost archetype.
Yeah,
or subtype.
It's so all of the whispers this set are ghosts, at least from what I've seen. So like all the boost characters are ghosts, not whispers. But I don't know if that's like a thing or if that's just like the few cards they've revealed. But
wait, is this little snowflake actually going to be on the card?
I don't know. I was about to ask that exact same thing because
that's cool.
It very well could be, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, if there's a Maximus strength deck, he is an ally, so maybe like Ruby, Steel, Maximus, Scar.
You can pitch him to Scar.
Yeah, like Scar, like draw load, and he just kind of is out there. I don't know, like pay 4, draw,
Notably, works well with another card that was spoiled.
Yeah, which we can go ahead and talk about. Is there anything else, I guess, on this one, and I'll switch over to Scrooge.
Well, you said Scar, but now I'm thinking you play Tinkerbell on 2, and then you play something on 3. You play him on 4, tap him, gain 2 lore, and then you play the Scar next turn, tap Scar, banish him, draw 8.
Yeah, I mean that's what I think ultimately like where you'd want to be.
I literally just said that.
At least for that.
Well, you didn't say the Tinkerbell. You said
yeah.
I made the most important part, the drawing.
Yeah,
he gave you the full line. Cool. But yeah, I don't know if Ruby steals it. I imagine as we kind of started, is probably more viable on ways to cheap boost, so that you can do more stuff with him. But he seems like a gargoyle that's just going to get frozen a lot. So
but you can always pay 3 to boost him.
Sure.
Yeah. He seems interesting. I would say maybe playable.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe playable. Okay.
It's definitely, if it was uninkable, it'd be very unplayable. But yeah, I'm sure if there's a deck that wants that, then it seems pretty neat.
And then let's talk about. I think this is the first legendary, or was no, not the first legendary because Anna was legendary too. But a new Scrooge. Scrooge, I feel like is becoming a very big meta character now. I feel like he's always coming out with a new card, but
capitalism, baby.
I mean, I guess that's fair. Scrooge is a Sapphire legendary, 6-cost inkable, 4/6 stat line, quest for 2, shift 4, and then has the ability that says when you play this character, you may put a card from the top of your deck face down under each of your other characters. If you do so, those characters gain ward until the start of your next turn. So cheat out boost, so that's kind of cool. You also give
cheat out mass boost. It gives everything I'm playing.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a boost deck out there that would love this card of some sort. I don't know what the color combination of that one is. My first instinct is green, because they have a bunch of really good ones. But then you also have Amethyst that has a bunch of good ones, so maybe it's a blurple card. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not going to go that deep into it. I just think that 1, boosting a bunch of stuff, and 2, ward is still extremely, extremely strong. And so this one seems really cool. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, I like it too. I mean, it kind of comes with that last card we showed too.
Sure.
And then
I was talking about you.
Yeah, and then I think there's a 5-drop Pete boost card that when he quests, if there's a card under him, you get to look at the top X cards equal to the cards under him.
From the new set?
Yeah, I saw him on Twitter or X or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how to find. I mean, I'm very unprepared to go through into the depths of all the Winterspell cards. I mainly just wanted to talk about Scrooge, but was looking at the Lorcana player that usually has a couple other ones. Because Scrooge does seem really cool. This is just an effect that we've like never seen. I don't feel like we've seen anything like it yet. It's just a very different mechanic.
It enables a very cool strategy of having all your boost guys out, and then you do like a massive play. So I think it's a really good card. And I don't know if it's overly playable, but I feel like I could see it in a deck for sure. It's definitely you would build around it. You're like, I'm gonna top into this, and do we have any cheap Scrooges to shift this onto?
Like 4-drop.
Yeah, the item 4-drop one.
But that's not a good one to shift onto. I feel like
not really.
No, I mean, I'm sure I don't think there's a cheap one.
At least not yet. I am assuming that there's going to be some sort of Scrooge that costs less than 4 now, because that's how they always do this. If they make a shift line, then there's going to be a cheap version.
Right. Yeah. But anyways, I like Scrooge a lot. I think it could be really cool. I wish they had the look. I want to show the look. I actually want to talk about that location. You guys remember? Either you have seen that location that was released too?
Yeah, the Christmas one. I can send it to you on Discord.
I might be able to find it really quick, but yeah, it's a Ruby location. I got it. It's a Ruby location that's 4-cost inkable. Has a 8 willpower, 1 move cost with 1 lore, and says whenever you move a character here, you may put the top card of your deck under this location face down. At the start of your turn, you may put all cards from under this location into your hand. If you do so, banish this location. So this is very interesting, because this is another wave where you could potentially cheat a lot of draw cards out of it. Because by itself, it's not super menacing. Like if there's only 1 card under here, It's only gaining 1 lore per turn, and the 8 willpower definitely makes it like very obnoxious to try to have to take out. So on the surface, I really like this one. My initial thought is the Emerald Goofy that moves another character to a location with it for free. That way you could boost it twice. So you would get 2 cards, and then the next turn you could banish it. You'd get the lore, you could banish it, you could draw your 2 cards, and then you just it's just a really good like little tempo play that you could do with. And then you have some Emerald, some Christmas draw. Is it any good? I don't know. We've been messing with that Goofy forever and haven't really had any success with it. But I just think, again, this is a very different concept from what we've seen before, and so I kind of liked it.
Yeah, it reminds me of Queen's Castle in like a weird way, like the 4-drop, really high health, because it also just gains lore. So like as it stays in play, you are gonna be getting that value from it.
Yeah, I think it's like worse than the library and Queen's Castle, but it's
in that realm of like, I'm playing this location as potential card value.
Yeah. Ruby is pretty desperate for draw, so this could probably see play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, like the 8 willpower is just really annoying to deal with, and 1 lore, depending on what your opponent's doing, is usually not enough to like instantly take it out. And so, depending on how fast you can get cards under here or boost things, and use that to filter cards into your under this location. I mean, you could draw 3 or 4 cards, and gain a couple lore in it, and so that seems relatively strong depending on the package you can build around it. But I kind of like it.
It's not bad, yeah.
Okay. Any other? Well, Matt said he wanted to talk about the Pete, so this Pete's on here too, and this one has a snowflake on it too. Interesting.
I will say that spoiler for the Scrooge had like an image on the side. I wonder if these are grabbed from the Moylant.
That's what I'm guessing too. Is that it's from the like whatever graphic it was. Yeah, it was doing. But there's a Sapphire Pete, so I think that's the first time we have a Sapphire Pete. 5-cost inkable, 5/5 stat line quest for 1, boost 1, and it's also a ghost. Or what are those called? Characteristics, as well. And so ghost.
I just call them subtypes.
Yeah, ghost / whisper has definitely changed into ghost now for this set. Whenever this character quests, look at a number of cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of cards under him. Put 1 into your hand and put the rest to the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, I do remember this one. This is like the new Visions. It feels like once Vision rotates out, it feels like this is going to be kind of like the new Vision-esque card to.
Well, I think it's different in the sense, because
this
one's like a body and takes a little more to get to.
Yeah, it obviously takes a whole lot longer.
It has a lot of value on 1 body.
Yeah, I think it's a worse Grammatala, but it still could see play in certain decks.
It has great stats for you if you just choose not to get the value from it.
Yeah, nothing crazy, but I do think there's definitely something there. Has potential, I guess I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all I really have to talk about Winterspell specifically. But yeah, like I said when we started, I just want kind of open up the floor to what everybody's excited about or nervous about for 2026. Is there anything like that anybody's jumping to talk about? Because there's, I think, a lot of stuff I'm excited about and a few that I'm kind of worried about. So we can start either way or just kind of go over the board. I don't really care.
Yeah, I can work off of y'all because I don't really know.
Well, I guess the worry is like the DLC announcements for the next season.
Yeah, that's what I said too right before we started. I think there are still two DLCs scheduled in NA for next year. One of them is the week after the year starts though, and so there's basically one DLC. And then they announced Continentals for, is it end of July, beginning of August, or end of August, beginning of September? I think it's end of August, beginning of September, isn't it?
End of August. It's the 28th or something.
Yeah, and so if they don't have any more DLCs this season, and the Continentals is in end of August, beginning of September, and then Worlds we'll say is in October, so then it doesn't, it looks like there won't be another, official DLC event for next season until like November, December at the earliest. I mean, they did say that there would be, other ones that come up this year that aren't on season 2, but they haven't been announced because they're for season 3. But that doesn't leave a lot of time for many of those to be a possibility. And so I think, again, like going into like the spring, summer time frame where you don't have any events is just a little nerve-wracking, I guess, to put it lightly, especially when you have competition like Riftbound coming up that has seemingly a very structured, organized play with a lot of prizing and a lot of cool like side prizes that make it very fun events to go to. So that would be, I mean, all of those in conjunction definitely make it a little bit of a uphill battle for them.
What would be the idea schedule, you think? Like once a quarter, or?
No, they got to do it more than that. Like once every 6 to 8 weeks, I think. Like you've got to have, what do we have the first season? It was 5. I mean, I think you've got to at least have 5 or 6 a year.
Yeah, I mean, I would like that.
I wish they just did it on a quarterly basis, because if there was like one every quarter, that would be fine too.
Like one every set.
Because you could plan around that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think
because Magic the Gathering does like a pro tour every set.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good. I mean, I think at a bare minimum, you've got to do it one every set. I think the challenge with that is you have a big break during the Continentals and like Worlds time frame during all of this circuit.
I won't be there. Give me some tournaments to go to.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you do one a quarter and then one of those quarters is Continentals and Worlds, then you're still in a situation where it's only
no. I don't. Yeah, I was like, I don't want those to be part of the quarter.
Yeah, you would have to have more. So I would say I'm saying minimum 5 per year would make me like very, very content.
Talking about DLCs?
Yeah,
I guess I'm confused what we're talking about.
Yeah, official events, DLCs.
Yeah, I want a DLC each quarter, which is different than Continentals and Worlds.
Yeah, so you would say 4 a year then plus Continentals and Worlds, so about the same realm of where I am.
Yeah, that's about. I mean, that's what I want. Once a quarter, once a set. Like really, like if there's no DLC, there's really no point of buying any product.
Well, and that's kind of the next point I was going to make is just the engagement from people. I mean, there's obviously the people that play card games very religiously that always want to be involved. They are always, looking for the next event, to have fun or to compete in or whatever. And those people are always going to, to find something if it's in a different game or not. But, the casual crowd that doesn't always, that goes to League, that, has fun, that goes to do some side events, that goes to see the artist signings, that goes to, to have fun and get the promo that you get for playing in the main event. Like all of those people, if you go another like 8 months that, they're not just like card diehards or card playing diehards, then like I just feel like there's a potential to like lose lots of those, especially if like this same cycle continues to happen. Even if you drop off like 5% of the player base every time you go through one of these big lulls, then you have to be picking up more of those players every time then that happens versus what you're losing. And I don't feel like that's the case because to Matt's point, like you're not going to have a bunch of people buying product to collect it yet. I mean, eventually maybe it has, a collecting side of it that is like sustainable like Pokemon, but I just, I think we're years and years away from that one. So you have to,
different bracket.
I know that's what I'm saying. I mean, you won't be there. I mean, and even like when it does get to like a collectible status, it will never reach that realm, obviously. But what I mean is where, I feel like you could go and have Pokemon without the competitive circuit and it would still be basically as big as it is. I want, Lorcana to be sustainable without the competitive side so that all of the stuff that we are buying and collecting does, retain its value. And in order to do that, you have to have a retained player base and it's just not going to get there for any time soon. And so anyways, you have to have continued events and you have to have continued support to continue to be able to retain the players you have and bring on new players so that it continues to grow. And I feel like if you just continuously have 6-month lulls every year, that's going to make it really, really difficult to do.
Yeah. I would say also I hope they implement like prize packs or something different than just the promos.
Yeah, so I hate to because I don't like talking about Riftbound. I know it's kind of a meme, but I really don't hate it that much. But the coolest thing that I've seen from the Riftbound thing is that they had a prize card for the highest placing champion of.
Yeah, it's called Best of Show.
Yeah, and I thought that was crazy cool. Yeah. Like imagine having like a Ruby Steel like prize card.
Yeah.
And the people that aren't meta sweats that just again like want to go have fun, they want to go hang out at a DLC.
And Ruby Steel, they get something. It doesn't even have to be a card. It would be cool just to like promote people like just not playing like the stereotypical color combinations.
Yeah, but I mean they have Duel Link cards, so imagine using those Duel Link cards as prize cards, like a prize tramp for Amber Emerald. Imagine how many people would be hype about that. I mean, or again, like you could do a Ruby Steel one. It's, it's not as popular of a card, so it wouldn't be a big one. But I mean, you have all of those different dual color cards that you could have prizes for, and I know that's a lot of color combinations. But again, it's like if you're doing 1 or 2 card, it's maybe the top 2, maybe it's just the top 1 or whatever it is, that like that's just a really cool way to engage a different part of the player base than just the people that are grinding to be at the top cut every time. I think that's a great idea, and so
kind of promotes diversity.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's stuff. Yeah, I think that, I mean, I know that's a little bit different than what Matt was saying, but it's kind of the same like sense of like there are different ways to promote prizing throughout the structure of the tournaments. And so I think that's just a really cool idea that Riftbound had, and would love to see something like that implemented in Lorcana.
Yeah, I think the promos are just not really getting retention like they want. Like, I don't know, I could just spend $1 and buy each promo, instead of going every week and spending 4 hours. And I mean, I don't know, pretty busy, so I mean, it's hard to carve time out.
I know for at least the DLCs, like this was probably one interesting thing where like I just did not care to own any of these. Like none of them were something I was interested in for collecting. So
yeah,
I mean, like it was a lot to get something that like I wouldn't even like really need.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's kind of like wrapped up in with the worries of the whole competitive scene of last year everybody did have all of these sought after cards, and they were very, very valuable, and so that made it extremely lucrative for people to go and compete in these tournaments. And it seems, to be honest, I don't have the same affinity with these cards as I did the last season either, and so I don't know what their values are, but I know they're substantially under what chapter or season 1's cards are.
Factor, we went from Rapunzel and Cinderella, what we had gotten from the prize ticket wall, to a Mulan that doesn't see any play, and
the Mufasa,
the least played Elsa.
Yeah,
the least played Elsa.
Like imagine if like Maui Shark was one of the promos. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
because like Maui the Shark doesn't have anything. It's a very like cool card. It doesn't even have to be playable. Like it just has to be like something neat. Like even like the Mushu, like the Red Steel Mushu. Imagine if that was it instead of the Mulan. People would definitely want the Mushu.
Oh yeah,
the Mushu is really neat.
I think with the Enchanteds they've printed the last 2 sets, they've definitely learned that printing either very iconic character Enchanteds or playable Enchanteds are the way to go. And so hopefully that changes for next season 3 too. So I guess, I mean, that should start in some point next year. So hopefully that's, I guess another good wish for next year is that, the prize cards that they have for the official events are, very sought after, either characters or playable cards that make them really sought after. But yeah, my big one, so getting back to a little bit of a more fun topic, I guess that's not just super competitive, is one of my biggest wishes, and I know I've said this one before, but with the release of Pixar, obviously that's going to be really fun coming in set 12 with Toy Story that they've already given some art for, but I'm very excited / hopeful for The Incredibles. I know that I've said that. Yeah, I know I've said that a couple times, but good old Mr. and Mrs. Incredible and Dash and Jack and Violet are definitely some of my favorite
Spirit of Hayden that's not here. We have to predict which of the Incredibles do you think is going to be the most broken card whenever they officially do come out? Pinpoint.
I feel like it will. I feel like he's probably right. I feel like it will be Jack. I hope it's Dash, just because Dash is my favorite. But probably Jack's probably the right answer, just because they like doing.
Like, I'm just gonna say, from my experience of having like these brand things of like being put into the game, I feel like Violet is gonna somehow be the most broken one. I don't know what they're gonna do for Violet, but I think they're gonna make a mistake and Violet's gonna be insane somehow.
Well, Violet would probably be evasive, right?
I would say Dash is your evasive, and Violet is like your give everything else ward character.
No, Dash is gonna have Rush.
Dash can have Rush and evasive. I mean, he's the fastest.
Oh, he's broken.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just think, Violet might have evasive. I think Violet's more of a like protector of others versus like powerful of herself. And so either she's like helping boost other things or healing other things or protecting other things.
I don't know what she's going to do, but that's my prediction with no context. I just feel like she might accidentally be broken.
She's going to be Rapunzel 2.0.
Ooh, that would be cool. That'd be cool. What colors would the Incredibles be? Because, they usually put the big franchises
I'm
like
sure
that
they're
into
gonna
2
be
colors.
I'm sure that
I'm thinking Ruby, Amber, and
I could see Ruby Amber.
Ruby Amber and Amethyst, maybe.
I could see Ruby and Amber for sure. You know, a little bit of a protector stuff with Violet and Mrs. Incredible, and then you just your big body heavy hitters with Dash and Mr. Incredible, and then Jack is your, I don't know, some sort of like on spot removal in Ruby. But yeah, that one's mine. I know Cody's too is Wally for his hope for.
No, I would love a Wally
for Pixar. What's your biggest?
I already got it. Toy Story. That's my number one.
Okay, well then, yeah. I mean, that's you got lucky then. That's an easy one because I think when they announced Pixar in like end of 2024, before we had started doing all the Team Infinity stuff, when it was still Jake and I think I predicted that Toy Story. You have to start with like a bang, right? Like you start with like the biggest franchise, and then like you don't do all of them the biggest ones. You do kind of the biggest one, and then a little lesser unknown one or a little lesser known one, and then you kind of do a big one and a smaller one. And so I figured you'd start with Toy Story and then do like A Bug's Life or something that has a bunch of cool characters but isn't one of the most like popular franchises within the Pixar umbrella. So yeah, Toy Story obviously will be really cool, and there's just so many. Obviously you have Buzz and Woody, but not just Buzz and Woody. I mean, there's probably 6 or 7 other characters that would be really cool to have cards from.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What? There's not 6 or 7?
He's doing the meme 6, 7.
Oh God!
You did it.
I
didn't do it. He did it.
That I did. I mean, I did it. I did not mean to do it.
Oh my god!
That's just that was a complete. I'm not one of those people, so I'm not even gonna. I be honest. I'm clueless to whatever that means or anything, but that has anything to do with that. So I'm not the person to like do that as like a funny haha. But okay, Cody? What do you hope for next year?
Came
prepared. Came prepared. Love it.
I mean, I feel like you've kind of said some of the things that there's big considering. I just want events to go to.
Yeah, I mean,
like I just wonder. I've been loving the grinding. I'm very excited for Richmond. So as long as the game's fun and has, I mean, I'm really excited for Indianapolis.
Let's see. Well, let's talk about Infinity a little bit. They definitely have to have more consistent support next year for Infinity for it to be like an actual thing, right? Like you can't do.
They're having a whole DLC. Is that
no,
not
I know
official support?
But that's I said ongoing. Like you can't just have. I mean, there's been a bunch of social conversations around Infinity, and I think the consensus has been Infinity Weekend was kind of a fail. Nobody really cared. A lot of the cards were just like given out. If you look on TCG Player, there were a couple stores with 40 of them on there, which means they didn't even hold their events. They just turned on to TCG Player and put all their cards for sale. And so I think the overall desire for Infinity events has been extremely low because there's not ongoing support for it. Obviously, when DLC season comes around for the official DLC that's Infinity, I think that will change, but then nobody will care about Core Constructed because there aren't any Core Constructed events. And so I think if you want Infinity to continue to be a subset of the Lorcana, community, then you have to have, ongoing events for it, whether it be the ability to do like set champs as an Infinity event or have, consistent DLC events that are Core Constructed and Infinity, where you have, different like ladders to climb to get to worlds, or you have completely different worlds for whatever, type of event you're playing, whatever it is. I don't think you can just do one DLC a year every 12 months as Infinity and keep people engaged in the format, because it's just not enough to make people put in the time and effort to continue to care.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with that. Maybe we shoot for like 6 DLCs and they do it every 6 months, but I don't even know if that's enough to keep engagement for it.
I mean, yeah, maybe if we said like 4, maybe we do just 3 and 3, or maybe it's 3 and 3 every year, where it's 3 Core Constructed, 3 Infinity. Which I'm not a big Infinity guy. I mean, it's mainly just because I don't, want to like split my time between 2 different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's a big Infinity person because there's just no one playing it really.
Yeah. Like I'm in the sense of like I'm excited to go to this one because I we'll get to deep dive into it. But until this moment, I've not had any reason to like touch it.
Exactly. And so, I mean, in general, though, like without that being the case, even if there was supported events, I don't think I would be super into it just because I feel like I take all my time as it is, like trying to get good at core constructed. And I'm always like on my back foot, like deciding on what deck to play and deciding on what I should be practicing and deciding what, the tech cards need to be. And so like, if I have to like split my time between two different formats, I don't feel like I have the time necessary to like fully devote to being good at them both. And so ultimately I would want to focus on one, but Cody, you know more about it than I do, but I've heard or seen or, other people talk about like Magic and, that there's 100 different formats and there's always events going on from all. And, at a Magic weekend, there will be support for both of them and they both have, stakes involved. And so people will go play both events. And I think until you get to that point, it just won't be, it'll always just be like the afterthought.
Yeah, I mean, Magic's definitely also been around for a really long time, and I think it has too many formats. I'm sure everyone else will also say that too, but there's like some like important ones like Standard, Modern, and I guess Legacy to an extent, because they have this thing called Eternal Weekend every year, and Legacy is where you can just play anything from like all the sets, and it has like the oldest cards, and then people will always go and play into that. So I guess it's like worth throwing out there that there's some people who like only like that. I think if I went to go play Paper and I would just play Legacy because I think that's where I have most fun. So that, for example, and it's the smaller of like Standard and Modern. But I mean, I think as long I'm kind of okay with how it's kind of structured right now because I'm right there with you. I don't want to have to devote my time to like trying to flip flop between two different formats. So I prefer Affinity being on the back foot. Okay, and giving the most focus to core.
Let me read. I
can go try it every so often.
I mean, I definitely agree with that from the like, having a like pillar of format, like this is our main format. But let me reframe it then for you does it not like make you sad or make you care less about like whatever set releases when there's no event for that? Like if, it's like, cool, I can go do this Infinity thing now. But if we go into set 12 with Toy Story and you're in Infinity and there aren't any cards good enough to like cut it in Infinity, like, do you even care about the new set at that point? Like it just makes the longevity of the new sets and stuff like way less important.
I mean, I'm sure the store champs are still going to be core. So, I mean, that would be people who want to go do that and grind for that. I don't know. I mean, we've never had this before, so it'll be interesting. I mean, but yeah, there's a good chance that some cards will be impactful, and I think Affinity hasn't had the eyes on it to expand on. Like I think people just kind of, if they do play in it right now, they just play the same stuff over and over what they're used to doing. So like, there's no telling what could actually break it through once everyone starts like flipping off of core to go be like, okay, let's go take a look at this one and see if they can break it there. I would think you'd be surprised like how many cards are actually playable from more recent sets, so
yeah, I think there is probably quite a few, but I think to that point of this, since nobody's devoted any time to it, every like winning of Infinity event list that I've seen has basically been a old core constructed with like maybe one or two cards. I mean, if you looked at like the Sharp big 10K weekend that we had where one of our friends, shout out Eric, won the Infinity weekend, he was basically just playing Amber Steel aggro with 2 Rajas in it. It was just,
they feel like the coolest part of the deck, in my opinion.
I mean, they were really cool, sure. Well, I guess it did have Namari too, and so Namari is Namari post rotation, or she said 8? She's post rotation.
Namari.
Right? Nala, God, Nala. Why am I saying Namari?
I was just like, Nala was a huge game changer.
Yeah. So Nala's set 9, right? Yeah, Nala's definitely set 9. I can remember that in my head because I know what box of cards she's in, and it's the new post rotation box of cards. But yeah, I think to the point of like nobody's really innovated in the space, and so to your point, there are definitely plenty of new good cards. But I just think, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being cynical, but I think if you don't have,
I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be. I feel like you have the same opinion as I do. It's gonna be nice to now give some time to Affinity and get to try it out. Because you don't have to worry about core.
I mean, I'm not going to the Infinity DLC, so.
You're not? What? Oh, because you're going to a concert, right?
Yeah.
Going to a concert?
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran, shout out Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran's not worth missing a DLC.
It's Gabby's birthday present, so
her birthday present could be a golden Mickey.
That's true. That's way better.
Not an Infinity DLC one, I can assure you that.
You never know.
So yeah,
Christmas has your name on it.
So yeah,
I mean, I think it's actually a good thing that there's not like 20 new cards that are added to like the new list, because I mean, I don't think you want that level of like power creep.
Yeah, true. Game. That would mean that like that set is like more powerful than set one.
Yeah,
I think yes. I get the image that it's gonna make like the newer sets be less looked at, but like I don't think that's gonna change any impact on like people like wanting to do it. I think people are probably gonna be more annoyed with just like cards that they hated before now are gonna be around. But I mean, that's fine. I'm not saying everyone has to love Infinity. I'm just saying I'm excited to do that because I'm gonna play Diablo.
Yeah, people hate Diablo, but yeah, I think it's gonna be really fun too. I mean, I really like exploring these formats that are like very little eyes on, because I think there's a lot of like edge you can get for.
Yeah, I feel like it's just gonna make me be excited for the game. And
yeah,
I feel like I am getting more excited about the game.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Again, I think if they just want to do this, then like ongoing, they need. And again, this isn't for like us for the DLC, but just in general, if they like want Infinity to be like an actual thing, they can't just have a DLC every 14 months. That's an Infinity one and like call that Infinity support. They need to have more, actual prizing support or tournament expectations behind the format, or it'll just kind of always be an afterthought.
Yeah, I mean, they could do like 2 set championships, Infinity and a standard core.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Like a Sad Beast promo.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I'm totally down for that.
They kind of had that happen with Fabled coming out. I know that's a little bit differently, but Monsters Dragon came back and it was like the playmat and the promo. That was pretty neat.
Yeah,
that was
really
a little
cool.
hype, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like they could go back and like imagine if they did a Mufasa one. I mean, I didn't play a ton of Mufasa, but I do love that card.
Yeah, I mean, I think just if they want there to be diversity within the player base and like the options, then they need to just like continuously support it. I mean, that's ultimately like the last thing I'll say about that one because I've said that too many times now. But okay, my next hope / desire would be the support for other deck archetypes besides just character curve decks. I feel like every deck in the current format is just ultimately doing the exact same thing in different ways. You play a character on 1, you play a character on 2, you play a character on 3, you ink, you might ramp somewhere in there, you might sing a song every now and then, but it's ultimately like kind of stand and play characters and then wait till you have a big swing turn and then go. There's no more item support. There's no more like, I mean, there definitely is like song support, but there's not near as what there was back in pre-rotation days. There's very little location support. So I just want there to be a lot more diversity in like the type of decks you can build. Obviously I think they do have a very, really diverse meta when it comes to, what can be successful in the different deck archetypes from, Purple Steel to Blurple to Dogs to whatever. I mean, I think there's a lot of options that you can go out there and play, but they're all ultimately like just playing character cards and kind of, doing strong curves. And so going back to where you have item support and location support and things like that, I think would be a lot more fun to bring diversity to the game.
Boost has been more fun than I expected.
Boost is really cool.
It seems like you're on track.
Yeah, I enjoy Boost a lot for sure. Good, easy talk then, I guess. Everybody,
I'm on board. Yeah, I think they are on the right direction. So I'm excited for.
I mean, I agree. I don't know. I would like more songs because I feel like that I really like that kind of gameplay. I mean, I kind of miss the songs of old. I mean, I didn't really like playing against Whole New World, but it's definitely a fun deck to play. I hate playing against it though.
It was a deck that countered these on the play curve decks because like some decks, it's okay to be super powerful because they counter what other people are doing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's ultimately what I'm saying. Like, I don't necessarily have a preference of what that is. If it's an item deck or a Whole New World deck or a location deck or whatever, I just think that they need something that supports other things besides character curves and, a whole new world and be prepared. And a lot of those strong cards that got rotated out, Maurice's Workshop, Popsicle, like all of the different item support, like all of that, went by the wayside, and they didn't, replace any of those type of capabilities and new cards to the different sets we have thus far. And so it's all just characters. And so I just, think that creates more diversity for, for outplay, for, different matchups that aren't just like, who draws better or, who curves better. It's, gives you some opportunity to like, really create some agency and beat your opponents in different ways that they can't see coming. And so ultimately, I think it's just, gives you more strategy to make too, which makes it fun building decks and coming up with, wacky strategies, which I feel like the past, couple months has kind of started to be our MO. It's just coming up with wacky strategies. So, okay. Well, I think that covers my list. Is there anything else that anybody else like has for 2026 that they're like super hopeful for? Characters, cards, ideas, options.
I would take a Prince John reprint.
Okay. I mean, like, let's just okay.
What? Are we not making wishes?
That's fair. Honestly, I can't even believe I'm saying this. Honestly, discard is kind of a joke now. Discard is kind of a joke. I don't want Prince John like fully reprinted, but I do want some sort of discard support. Like, just back to the point I was just making. Like, discard is an archetype that is completely useless now. Like, we've tested discard stuff. We've tried to make discard stuff work. And without some sort of engine that gets benefit off of the discard as well, like, there's just never going to be like a real true discard potential. And so I don't want Prince John as it was reprinted, but I do want some sort of discard resource advantage card like Prince John, so that you have that option to play again.
I mean, do we really want discard? I mean, I know it's like a fun deck to play, but it's not really a fun deck to play against. Like, I don't think it really promotes like fun gameplay.
No, I agree. And I think there is a very fine line. And I think if it's Prince John without ward and you can only draw once per turn when you make your opponent discard, like if you put a lot of guide rails on it, then it definitely makes it viable, but not like just overly obnoxiously terrible to play against. And so I don't know. I mean, I remember hating those days, and and I'm like kind of hammering for it again to some degree. And so yes, I think you have a point that it's not, you can't make it the focus. Like, it has to be some sort of niche archetype. I guess I'll put it that way. It can't be so good that like everybody's playing it again. I
mean, there is still like a discard deck. You can play Brainiac, and Bend to My Will is like the most annoying card.
It's a discard deck because of Bend to My Will.
Yeah. I mean, it really is.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Like 2 to 3 copies of that card, and it's a discard deck.
Yeah, it's just I guess it's just a very different discard experience, right? Like, if the discard experience of like Norm or old days is I have to be very careful on what I'm playing and inking every turn, because I can't get myself in a pickle and not have any resources, because they could rip a card here, rip a card there, maybe take a couple cards, and then it just becomes very different. Whereas Brainiac is like, I can just do anything I want until turn 7, and then I better not have any cards, or they've bounced everything, and so I have a bunch of cards, and then they're all gone. And so it's just a very different discard experience, which I don't know which one's better or worse, but I think it there's nothing you can do to avoid that, and so maybe that's a little worse, where you can definitely like play around just like a little trickle discard here and there. But I don't know. I want it to be like a niche thing where it is possible for it to be successful, but not like so overpowered that it's the forefront of like every DLC. I guess, if that makes sense, but
yeah.
But I am nixing Cody's Prince John. That is not happening.
Yeah,
I got them signed. I want to play them again. I guarantee you. Here, I'll out myself right now. When Indianapolis comes around, I'm playing something Prince John. My Diablo signed and my Prince John.
I was about to say, you just said you wanted to play Diablos, and so yeah, I mean, that's very foretelling for you. I know that there's a lot of people that are on the green purple discard still, so I would imagine that has some potential.
Green purple in every DLC.
I mean, green purple discard, I think, for
call me Mo Shamblin.
Has he taken anything that wasn't green purple? He played green. He played green steel in Seattle. But aside from, I mean, I guess he's only played in 3 DLCs, and then you can't really include Worlds because you had to play everything. But he did play Green Purple there too.
Wait,
for one of his trio.
I think he's only playing 2 DLCs.
No, he played.
I guess no. Sorry, Milwaukee
Vegas,
is the 3rd.
Yeah, Vegas, Seattle, and Milwaukee, and then obviously Continentals where he played Green Purple as well. But yeah, I guess we all strive to be him, so why not just copy his deck choices?
I don't strive to be him.
You want a Golden Mickey so bad. So yeah, so that's striving to be him because he's the one that we know that has the Golden Mickey.
I was playing Green Purple and winning store champs before I knew who Mo was, first of all.
When did you win store champ on Green Purple?
His brother beat me at a local tournament during the first set, and I didn't even recognize him.
That was a funny story. Yeah, I wish he was on to talk about that one because that is a funny story. But yeah, I think that's all I've got. If there's anything else, like I said, that anybody else is itching to get off their back.
Except for Richmond.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the big one around the corner is Richmond, and we've all been, in the lab trying to refine our final lists for Richmond, and so getting close. I feel like I've definitely personally got a lot. I know what I'm playing, but I've got a lot of work to put in because I feel like everything from a instinct perspective, my instincts are just not good with what I'm wanting to play, and so I need to shore that up. But we've got a couple weeks. Got a good team of people around me, so excited about that. Excited about us. I mean, yeah, it feels like we've been this team forever now. So I would just say, on a personal level, it's just excited for all the Team Infinity stuff for 2026 because I feel like we've got a lot of potential to get 2 or 3 or maybe even all of us to Continentals at some point, hopefully, and have a lot of chance to compete for the big prizes. But yeah,
I have one wish list.
Go.
I want purple not to be the only.
Oh yeah.
That'd be nice.
You did say that right before we started. That
Hey, green with Prince John and Diablo. We drew some cards too. Situational draw too. Only when certain things are happening in the game.
I really like Diablo. I think Diablo can come back.
Diablo was a fun card.
No,
everything around it is what made it broken.
I'm fine with some form of Diablo coming back again, where it's like once per turn draw when your opponent draws, or like something like that. Like not 14 cards, because your opponent has to draw.
If my opponent draws 14 cards, I also want to be a part of that deal.
Yeah.
No, that's
why did they get it
too broken. The whole point of drawing is to find answers to your opponent's cards, and if you're drawing 4 cards to try to find an answer,
when they were playing ways to draw, I'm going to need to respond to those things they're drawing, so I need to draw too.
You have 3 cards in that Diablo, so to break even, you need to draw 3 cards.
You can have one, Cody. Choose. You can't have Diablo and Prince John. You can only have one.
I would take Diablo in a heartbeat.
Okay.
I like Prince John more. Diablo would definitely be the better card to have.
Okay, then you can only have Diablo. You can't have Prince John back.
Let's go. Deal. All right, send it up to Disney.
I'll send Ravensburger a note and be like, hey, just so we know, Diablo's coming back, but Prince John.
Hey guys, I made a mistake. I made a commitment on a podcast.
You think they go for it? Like email?
Like, man, that's terrible for us.
Email the head of the product team or like whoever does all the competitive design and be like, oh man, I don't know who this guy is, but I guess I have to go do this.
On the line.
Yeah. Just get them and be like, hey, sorry to put you into this little pickle here, but you have to do this now. Like we talked about it, so it has to happen.
He triple dog dared me.
All right. Next week is Richmond week, so we will be talking about all of our Richmond prep, and obviously set champs is in that same time frame. So we're gonna maybe do like a revisited ink type tier list and go through what are some good options to take to your set champs, to take to Richmond, and everything as we close out the competitive season for set 10. So that'll be a good one if you're on the fence on what you want to bring to your set champ or to Richmond. And and then we get to kick off 2026 with a bang and go after, get into the end of the set 10 and, do something, start doing some set 11 stuff and go from there. So 2026 looking like a lot of fun, a lot of cool things to be excited for. So I think that is ending of 2025. So thanks everybody who listened to us throughout the full year. Had a little bit of lull in the middle on when we were not recording as much, but we're back at it and appreciate everybody's support. And so we'll see everybody in 2026.
Bye.